Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany and I want to welcome you to Tika's Gardens. Today I'm going to be doing a little reworking here in the bedroom garden. I've been sitting in the house looking out at the bedroom garden thinking, I really think I need to add some more of the moss rock back here to line the back part where the hibiscus and columnar ligustrums are. And so before I move anything, I think what I'm going to do is just move a few rocks over there and just set it there just to see what I think about how it looks. So let me show you what I'm talking about so you'll get an idea of what's in my head and what I'm wanting to do. Okay guys, so this is my bedroom garden, as you recall, and these rocks are called moss rocks. And they line this circle bed, as you can see. And what I am thinking is removing the black edging that is going along here and putting moss rock all along this section up to where the entrance is right here of the bedroom garden, so that both sides are lined with rock. I'm not sure what I think about how it's going to ultimately look, so before I do that, I'm going to do a little test run. If we come over here, all of these rocks here are moss rocks as well. They lined other parts of the backyard, and I put them along this section here to make it a long border that runs along the side of the garage here. But I don't have rock lining the rest of the garden here. It is just kept edged very well, so there is no reason why I can't continue the free edging, freestyle, I guess you could say, edging along here all the way up to the patio pavers, and use those rocks to line that walkway back there in place of the plastic edging. So I'm going to take some of these rocks, put it there just to see what it looks like and see if it's what I really want to do. So let me give that a try. And also, this lily right here is going to a new home. It's going to go into the front garden, and I will show you that a little bit later. But first, let's play around with these rocks and let's see what it's going to look like. Okay, so I grabbed 4, and just to kind of get a feel for what it might look like. And this is what I'm seeing as it is paired with the rocks from the circle bed. Okay guys, if I'm coming in from this way and just kind of imagining, I'm gonna take those 4 rocks there and put them here at this curve so we can kind of get another visual of what rock on this edging would look like. Okay guys, so here is another view of what it would look like to have rock along the edging. Just visualize it going all of the way up to here and ending where the brick are, just like on this side, ending where the brick is. And going all of the way down to the end of the walk there. I kind of like it. I think I may have to think on it a little more before I make that commitment, but I kind of like it, and I think it would definitely make this area you know, a distinct separate area, which it is already becoming that anyway, but kind of one with its own unique style with different kinds of rock in it, like those stone rocks over there in the different colors. So I'm not sure. Let me come this way and we'll look at it from this angle. Not bad, not bad at all. All right, let me think on this one. Okay guys, I've got all the rock moved, so we're gonna take a look one more time here so you can see what it looks like and you can give me your opinion. I'm gonna step back here so I can give you a full view. All right guys, the rock are not set in the ground, they are just sitting on top of that black edging that is there for right now. And this is what it looks like. Tell me what you think, guys. So as you're walking along, this is lined with the rock, which will help guide the rainwater. It's aesthetically pleasing, and you know, so it's serving two purposes. What do you think? And even though it is not set in the ground, you almost can't tell. If I kind of go back and rework them a little bit and set them correctly, I probably won't even have to remove the black edging. I could leave the black edging there and just let the rocks sit as they are, because there's a lot of places where I set it and you cannot see the black edging at all. So I think I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to just kind of reset some of them so you don't see the black edging underneath it, and give myself a few days. And if I really like it, maybe I'll pull the edging up and go ahead and set it in ground. Maybe I may not have to do that at all. All right, I'm gonna walk through this flower bed and give a view from an outside angle here. Yeah, we're gonna live with that for a few days. We'll just set some of them properly, like these over here. See, I just kind of have them plopped down so you can see the black edging. I'm going to reset them so that they're sitting properly and covering the edging like the others are doing, and we will go from there. And also, while I'm at it, I'm going to take some of the larger rock and do a second row of rock on top of this, because I want to try to help control some of the weeds that are going in there. And also, when the water from the rain is builds up enough, it washes this mulch out into the grass. It does the same thing as what happens here. So as I mentioned in another video, I want to get taller edging here. I'm going to make this just a little higher, and I'm going to do it up to this large rock, right up to the walkway, because I don't really have a problem with it here in the walkway. It just seems to run off here in this section in here. So I'm going to put some bigger rock there. I've got a couple here. I'm going to take more from over there and just make this 2 levels on this side. All right, so let's get that part done now. Good morning, guys. It is the next day, and I had to stop with the bricks back here because my camera ran out of charge, first of all, and it was starting to get you know, dusk, a little dark. So I called it quits, and I'm gonna finish up today what I started. And you know, I've been looking at it, and it's like I like the walkway both ways, without the brick and with the brick. So it's just a matter of preference, you know. I don't think that there's one way that looks better than the other. I like them both, but I'm going to show you what it looks like this morning, where I left off, and then I'll finish up and we'll take a look at that, and we will get that daylily that I wanted to get planted yesterday, but you know, like I said, I didn't get to finish up, and my camera ran out of charge. So let's go take a look at the brick and just kind of get started with what we need to get done today. Alright guys, so from this distance you can kind of see the brick lining, and like I said yesterday, I did not remove the black edging, so I just kind of put the brick over it for right now, just so I can see if I even like it. And like I said, I do. Either way, with or without it, I find that it looks nice. And also, I started double layering this brick because, as I was explaining about heavy rains, when the water starts to build up in this bed, it just kind of, let me step back so you can see, it just kind of pours it out into the grass. Not so much the walkway really, but more into the grass, this area. So I just thought I would double brick it for that purpose. So the goal here is to make it look nice and to solve a problem at the same time. So I took the moss rock, which is what that is called, from here, because I plan on just making a nice clean edging here to match the rest of the lawn. So as you can see, there's no edging around the lawn here, so I think that it would be a nice match to just have a natural sharp edging, you know, from the trimmer. And Tika just distracted me a little bit and reminded me that my gardenia has a ton of buds on them and some gorgeous flowers. Look at that. Like I said, there's always something blooming. You have to keep your eye out or you'll miss it. So I'm going to try my best to show you guys everything. The other thing is, I had some celosia in here last year, and you know, they drop seeds like crazy, which they did. So those are the seeds for the celosia that dropped, that's coming up. So I'm going to let them grow out a little bit more, and then I'm going to transplant them in other parts of the yard, possibly in the back part, along the fence back there, in that long bed back there. But for now, we're going to finish doing rock around the edging. And right now, even though this rock is sitting up higher, which I don't mind, this is only one layer of rock that I had just done. See, it's not very deep at all. Some parts are deeper than others. So as you can see, it goes right down to the there. If you can, probably can't see it too good, but it goes right down to the fabric. Not very deep. So I've always planned on putting another layer of rock here anyway. So here's another angle of it. So I'm torn. I'm really torn. Oh, yes, this has a bunch of weeds in it again. My husband didn't get to the gravel like I hoped he would. But look, I've got buds and blooms on my new rose there. And it's growing really well too. All right, so this is where I left off. You can see my cart out there in the distance right here. It still has rock in it. So we're gonna get started finishing up that circle. And then we'll go from there. We'll plant the daylily and anything else that needs to be done. Here are more rock right there. And this is rock that I dug up right here from this little area. So I've got those and a whole layer of rock back there that I can use to finish up. Here, this gravel is covering it up, so the mulch rather. See, so I've got a whole layer of rock back there that I can use. So we'll get started and get this finished up this morning. All right, guys, let's get going. All right, guys, well, I've got all the rock down, so let's get one final look and leave a comment for me and tell me what you think, before or after. To me, I think that it looks good both ways, and it's just a preference, but they're here, like I said, not just for aesthetics, but to solve a problem as well. So let me show you what it looks like, and yeah, leave your comments below for sure. Okay, guys, so where I am at right now is this entry. Let me back up a little bit. I'm standing right here as you get off of the grass path and you're stepping onto the wood. Oh goodness, I'm losing my words today, but you're standing on the wood mulch path, and so we're looking into this walkway. So that gives you a look at that side. Now I'm going to turn and walk back through so you can see the increased height of the circle bed in conjunction with the brick on the other side. And so, as I said, guys, doubling up the brick on this side with the circle bed, the purpose is so that when we have heavy rains, the compost, right now there's mulch in here, we're going to be adding compost. The mulch was just to kind of cover the areas throughout the yard for the winter season and to try to keep down weeds. So we got, wood chips, free wood chips, so that's what we used. But we're going to be covering everything with nice fresh compost. But when it's filled up with the compost, I don't want it filled up to the top of the bricks, although it certainly could be. I don't want it to go all of the way to the top. So when it rains, this second layer of brick will keep the mulch from running off into the grass. So it's for aesthetics as well as for, trying to deal with the fact that this is the lowest part of our yard and all of the water runs this way. It runs down this walkway. As a matter of fact, we had rain for a few days this week, and you can see the mulch is worn where it wasn't a few days ago, and that is because the water pushed all of the mulch up to here. And that is one of the reasons why I have this brick here in this section. It's not only to mark that this is the entrance to the bedroom garden, but and to look good, but it's also to kind of act as a barrier so that the wood mulch won't go all of, look, I'm using my foot as a pointer. So the wood mulch won't go all of the way onto the brick. So I've really had to get creative with making this area look pretty, but also functional for, you know, the issues that it has. And a lot of what I have done has really worked. I'm impressed with myself, I have to say. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So my goal is pretty and functional to solve problems while keeping it looking good. So I'm going to come on this side and just give an overview of that circle. And now just keep in mind, once we get some fresh compost in here, that lower layer of rock you won't be able to see. You know, the first layer, we're going to have the compost fill up to the first layer, but not all of the way up to the second, so that it's not so high that we still end up with the same issue. The second layer of rock can be the barrier to keep it from overflowing onto the grass. So that is it, guys. I'm loving these sun pations. When they get old, they start to get this white coloring on it, which gives it a totally different look on the blooms from when they're new. So you can see this newly opened one is a really rich pink, and then you see the progression of the white on them until it gets completely, you know, almost fully white. So it's really neat. I'm glad I made the choice. Oh, and it's the same with this color. You can see turning white, you know, going from the lilac pink to white streaks to almost fully white. So I'm liking everything. And, you know, from this angle, keep in mind that we're going to have here, and I have to pull that Eugenia right there out. We're going to have an evergreen, tall, narrow evergreen to, you know, to mark the entrance there. And just like this gardenia is here, although I lost this one, I'm going to replace it and put two more, 1, 2. So from out here, you won't see any of that. Once those shrubs are there and they start to grow, it's gonna really, like I said, close off that back bedroom garden to make it its own separate room. And on this side, I did want to do another set of tall evergreen shrubs to mark this entrance, and I thought about doing 2 more of the column ligustrums. An arbor has come into my mind, but I think I'm gonna go with the evergreen. So that is the bedroom garden for right now, and I still have a brick left. So we will figure out what to do with the other brick. It might even be enough brick to put around here and double up this circle so that I can deal with the runoff issue here, because you probably see some remnants. Like I said, we've had rain for a while and I've cleaned some of it up, but it's always hard to get everything up. But you can kind of see some remnants of runoff that occurred from this when we had the rains. So I might just do that, take the other brick and put it around the edging and double it up. Yeah, maybe I'll give that a try and look at it for a day and see what I think. All right, so we are done there. So one chore down, a couple of others to do, but let's see, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to that day, Lily. It's morning. I got out early so I could try to finish, so I have the whole day to do it. But I'm thinking that I might experiment with those rock since I've got the extra. I've got some in my cart, which is just kind of right in front of me, and see what that might look like since I've got the extra. I've taken, like I said, the extra rock from this long border bed, but I have some black edging. The only place I would need the edging is where the rock is to kind of control the movement of the rock up against the garage wall. But you know, once the black compost is down, you won't see that black edging in the back anyway. So let me experiment with that while I'm in the mood to move rocks. Oh my goodness, the things that come in our head and make us come out in the garden and say, let me try that. So let's experiment some more and see what we think. You may have another spot to vote on. So let me fill my cart and grab some more rock, and let's see what it looks like around this circle bed here. All right, guys, I have all of the rest of the rock from the long border along the garage, and I have it out back here. So I didn't have enough to do a double layer to prevent the runoff, but I do have enough to get an idea of what it will look like. So let's take a look at it up close and give me your opinions. All right, so let me turn the camera around. All right, guys, so here it is. So let's do this angle so you can get it in conjunction with the other brick. My concern was that this area might be too brick heavy, but at the same time, every rock and thing that is back here is for a purpose. It's not just decorating the area, you know, like these rocks are for the runoff from, let me show you. As you can see, there are no gutters, so it drops directly into this bed. So the rock is to slow down the buildup of water. Those rocks are to prevent, because this, if you notice, this area is high, and then it kind of slopes down towards the drain, which is right behind the Fizzy Mizzy Sweet Spires. So I kept having mulch run off from the high point down to the drain, so I have those rocks there to prevent that. And then I had runoff from this area down to this drain. Even though there is a drain over there, I still had some runoff coming from there, so I have those rocks there for that, and then I have rocks around the drain to help keep mulch from going in it. It's not 100%, but it does help. This drain doesn't have the issue with stuff running off into it, so I'm always having to clear this one over here out. As you can see from the last rains, mulch is down in there, so I have to pull that out. But the rocks are there to prevent runoff from the high point and from this. And then these rocks would be, I was going to get like a middle edging or something, but I've got the rocks. And I thought, let me give it a shot since I'm moving rocks today. And I think I like it. And I only need a few more. And literally the place that I get my rocks from is just right outside of my subdivision, not even a half mile up the road. It is just that close, so I can run out and get some more. They have a section, excuse me, where you can get like, they sell their rocks by the pallet, but when they don't have a whole pallet that is sold or excess rocks, you can buy it, you know, so many cents a pound. And so that's what I'm just going to do, because I won't need much. Probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12 more is all I'll need. So yeah, I'll just do that. And I will let that be the solution for that instead of getting metal edging. It's a material we already have, we're just adding to it. And I think it looks good. I like it, guys. I really do. I hope you guys like it too. Like I said, this is one of those things where it's just a matter of preference. One way is not so much more better than the other. It's just what you prefer. If you don't want as many rocks, or if you don't mind the rocks, or if you don't have a choice because you're trying to solve problems. So that's that. All right, so we'll have to get more rocks and finish up that circle. But otherwise, that's it. And let me show you this last Eugenia that I thought had died, and I was going to pull it up. As you see, has new growth that's coming up. So these 2 Eugenias are going to go in pots. When I say 2, this second one that has growth coming. Let me get over here. As you see it down there, these are going to go in pots on the outside of the gate. You know, this entrance gate here to our yard, right there, it's going to go on the outside and flank the gate on the outside. And maybe I'll do some pots around it or something. It's not so much an immediate project that I'm wanting to push for. I really want to get this back bedroom garden complete. So I've got to get back in this rock area and pull weeds. My husband's making me do extra work because he didn't lay the rock like I wanted to from when I pulled the weeds last time. So we've got that, and then we've got all these little weeds down here that are growing from the dropping of the seeds that was in the bird feeder. So we can thank the squirrels for that, because they were eating that food like crazy. But now we're going to head to the front garden and get this daylily in the ground. So let's get started with that now. Okay guys, I've got the daylily in, and while we're up here I'm going to show you my Stella d'Oro lilies that are in bloom right now. So let's take a look at this lily in place. I think it's a good spot for it. So I put it in between the Miss Lemonabilia and that pretty hydrangea. My words are still at a loss for today. Hibiscus. That pink lady hibiscus and the Miss Lemonabilia. So I put it right here in this little center. Again, I have a sprinkler head right here, so I don't want anything too close to it. So I think that's a good spot for it. And while we're at it, all right guys, I paused for a minute because there's a flying lesson going on overhead. But while we're at it, let's walk over here. Aren't those so pretty? Look at like the delicateness of that leaf. Stella d'Oros was such a popular lily back in the 90s when I lived in Tennessee. So pretty. And as you can see, the coleus are doing really good. And so are my New Guineas. The agapanthus, also known as the African lily, is almost open. And I'm going to swing around. See those pretty creamy yellowy white, or white with a little yellow undertone flowers on that. It's going to be so pretty. Everything's doing good. The azaleas are doing good. Uh-oh guys, I'm starting to feel raindrops. And here they are. More over here. Look how beautiful and rich that coleus looks. And let's take a look at this real quick and then get out of the rain. See that coleus, that pop of color behind these New Guineas? And these coleus are a little bit slower because they get a lot more sun. So it's a little bit more stress over here, and the water doesn't reach all of the way back there. Okay, so the rain just stopped. It started and stopped just that instantly. But they're growing. Everything's doing good. You can see the Superbena pink cashmere, which I think that burgundy behind it is really going to be pretty. And the little plugs that fell off from when I was planting those other two, and I stuck them here. Look at those plugs are growing, and they have buds all over, ready to bloom. You see all those buds? So everything is looking good. I'm so pleased with this year's plant combinations. Let's just look and walk as we head back to the backyard. Let's grab my watering can. These white sun patiens are really vibrant. It was a good choice. I'm glad I chose it. My favorite rose. This limelight hydrangea is doing really good. The other two are not, and I know it's because they were covered up by all of that construction debris. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and pull them and get something else. And I'm loving this orange bed. Oh my gosh. The lantana. This lantana over here is growing, and it finally has buds, but it's not as big as the other. Probably it's not getting as much sun, but that's okay. It's coming. So pretty. So guys, we're gonna call it quits for this project for right now, and I want to thank you for gardening with me. I will see you in the next video. Bye.